Hello, my name is Jordan Smith, and this is my story. As my father's mantra stated, if it doesn't kill you, it will only make you stronger. I will say that some aspects of my life have gotten stronger, but many things have gotten weaker. Biography. I grew up in a lower middle-class neighborhood, but I was drawn to be more, do more, and succeed in life. I inherited a strong work ethic from my father and a strong sense of right and wrong from my mother. When I work hard. When I play hard. And when I rest hard. I have one weakness, and that is standard soccer, known to most as soccer. The soccer to me. So when I say soccer, I mean real soccer, not another version of it. I put myself through college by studying hard and getting good grades so I could secure as many grants as possible and minimize my student loans. During the summers, I worked hard at a high-paying job to fill the financial gap as much as possible. In my final year of business school, I met her, the one and only woman I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. We'll call her Susan Q. Rottencrotch. That's not her real name, but by the end of my story you'll understand why. As with everything in my life, when I love hard. But on the other hand, when I don't love, well, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. I graduated from university and got a good job that paid twice what my old man, who worked in the trades, was paid. Like all newbies, no matter what your grades are or how special you think you are, you start at the bottom and work your way up. That means working 60 to 70 hours a week, working weekends, and doing the crap work that the higher-ups no longer have to do. You see, you have to work for a living. Nothing is given to you. I accepted that because I knew that one day I would be one of those above me, and I vowed to treat those below me with more compassion than I was given. She was smart, sexy, and just perfect. Yes, she was a little arrogant, a little spoiled, and could come across as a little bossy, bitchy even, but I loved her just as much. For some reason, she had a cocky attitude that caused most of our disagreements. She believed that if she wanted something, it should be hers now. I told her she needed to work for it. And no, I would not ask her dad for money, and neither would she. So, after waiting for my first major promotion, when I finally made enough money, she agreed to be my wife, and the wedding preparations began. Luckily for me, I missed almost everything because there was always a big project to work on and dues to pay for the next promotion. After a wedding I never wanted and a down payment that nearly broke my back, I bought her a house in the neighborhood she insisted on. Even then, we could only afford light renovations. Yes, I knew the house needed work. With my dad's help, I planned to turn it into a dream home within 3 years. New kitchen, new cabinets, almost everything new. But it would take time, money, and patience because I didn't want to take out any more loans. In the meantime, I had to make do with what I had. Remember, I'm a businessman, or a man, if you will. I avoided the trades for a good reason. I didn't want early arthritis in my fingers or my back. I wanted clean, smooth hands, not broken, calloused ones. Yes, I have immense respect for those who work in the trades because they work hard every day to make a living. But I chose a different path. Now that you have the backstory, or, as you prefer, the preparation, here's the real story. I worked 27 days in a row to earn 3 days off. It was the semifinals of a soccer tournament, and I had carefully planned my time so I could watch as much of it as possible while still spending some time with my wife. That weekend, I woke up to her voice. Honey, there are a few things that need attention around the house now that you have some free time. She was wearing a leave-me-alone robe and didn't look too happy. Honey, it's my first day off all month. I'm going to relax a little, and then we can talk about it. I kissed her, took my coffee and toast, and settled into my favorite spot on the couch. I pressed the remote to the program station airing the first game. At that time, we had only been married for 3 months and had been living in the house for less than a month when this little spat happened. I watched in a happy half-slumber as the boys raced the ball across the field. My team wasn't playing, but I wanted to see how things were shaping up in the standings before the big game. If you're into sports, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're not, it's too long to explain. Apparently, she didn't like my answer because, as soon as the commercial ended, she started. Honey, the lights aren't working in the gym. Can you fix them after the game? She asked in that sickly sweet voice that girls use. Like we're just little kids who need to be coaxed. I was in a bad mood due to her intrusiveness and pestering on my first day off in a month. I guess I was a little angry about the whole thing. "Do I look like an electrician to you?" I replied, wanting only to calm down a little on my day off. Could wait until my next break. "Honey, the refrigerator door is jammed again. Can you fix it after the game?" Seriously, that thing sucked. I had already picked out a replacement. It was supposed to be delivered next week. A brand new one that she'd been drooling over for months. There was a reason I'd been putting in all these extra hours. "Honey, do you see a shirt in my closet that says, Appliance Repairman?" I was starting to get a little frustrated. "Okay, since you can't do that, could you fix the step on the porch? I don't want anyone to get hurt." You could hear the displeasure in her voice. "Hell, woman, I ain't no damn carpenter either. Do I have a Home Depot sign on my car or one of those stupid orange bibs? Guess not." I finished. "I'm going to watch the game at the bar. I'll be back later." I realized I was losing my temper, and I didn't want to say whatever came into my head because I loved that stupid, well, never mind. Anyway, I packed up my stuff and headed to the sports bar of my choice. You see, my dad, the carpenter, was going to be there the next day to help with some things that needed fixing. But did she pay attention to little things like that? No. She wanted things done when she wanted them done, and she planned on bugging me on my one fucking day off. I headed for the bar. I was pissed, and it took quite a few beers to cool the steam coming out of my ears. Yes, I enjoyed the game. Yes, I was embarrassed that I blew up. And yes, after the first pitcher of beer, I switched back to soda. I started to watch the next game, but by the end of the first one, I was done. Realizing that I was still high, but legitimately so, I headed home. I was only gone for about 4 hours, but I needed it for peace of mind. Her lesson idea? So, feeling a little guilty for losing my temper, I came home and found my loving wife sitting on the stairs. "Hey, baby, I'm home." I walked into the house, saw the light on in the hallway, and looked at the repaired refrigerator door. How did these things get fixed? I was going to tackle them tomorrow. I asked in an almost reasonable tone. "Well, honey, after you left, I sat outside for a while and cried, thinking about how bad it was. After a while, a nice young man walked by and asked me what was wrong. When I told him, he offered me a deal. A wry smile appeared on her face. He would fix everything in the house if I would sleep with him or bake him a fancy cake," she finished a little smugly. "Oh, okay, I guess so. He liked the cake?" I asked, not the least bit amused. "Do I look like a fucking pastry chef?" She spat out, thinking she'd won. That was the end of the story. But here was my real answer. "No, you look like a cheater who is now homeless." I was so angry that only my mother's strict rules about not hitting women saved her life. "Take your junk and get out of my house," I shouted at her, turning away and walking off again. "I'll be back in an hour and you're gone. I'll send the rest of your shit to your father's house." I wasn't listening to anything she was trying to say. I was too busy trying to save myself from jail consequences. So she begged and pleaded and did all those crazy things you try to do to get out of shit, even when you know you're wrong but refuse to apologize. But you see, I was done. I could never trust her again, no matter how much I loved her. And I did. No, she didn't move out because I was being stupid. I moved out when she went to some store to do something for herself. Then the game started. She wanted to take the house. It didn't matter that it was in my name because her credit history was terrible. She wanted counseling. Too bad. I was going for an annulment, not a divorce. She then played the spousal card. Well, it went something like this. "Aren't you overreacting to your wife trying to get your attention?" Dad asked in his sarcastic, I've got the money authoritative tone, thinking he was in charge at the big family gathering. "Why? I can't trust her anymore. So what's the point?" I replied without looking at either of them. "Honey, I didn't sleep with anyone. I was just giving my opinion." She tried to say sneakily again. "So I still can't trust you. You either spread your legs for something you were already going to fix, or you lied to me. Either way, I can no longer trust a liar or a cheater. So it's over between us." I tried to keep my voice steady and calm, as yelling wasn't working. "What do you mean?" her father asked irritably. "I worked for a month to afford that damn refrigerator she wanted. Those suction cups don't come cheap. It works amazing. By the way, my dad and a couple of his buddies were coming over the next day to fix whatever we could. Both that day and the day after. I was planning on taking the bitch out somewhere to be alone before I had to work another month to blow money on new cabinets and countertops. But instead, she asked some dumb lecher to take advantage of her rather than trusting her own husband. He can have her for himself, though. She's just used goods now, and I'll never know for sure whether she did it or not. I stopped her before she could start whining again. You straight up told me you slept with some guy to get shit fixed at my house. It got fixed, and you're fucked either way. It doesn't matter if you lied to me or cheated on me. Neither will ever be acceptable to my wife, and you know it. So live and learn. I know I have. If I let you get away with it this time, then you'll know you can get away with it again, or at least you'll try to. I won't live like that. I tried to be reasonable but realized I was blundering, forced to listen to their ramblings. I was just trying to get your attention, she shouted. Be careful what you wish for. You might get it. God, how I loved using my old man's sayings. I finally understood them. Now that you have my complete and undivided attention, is that all you hoped for? Yes, I was hurt, but mostly I was angry. There's no reason to divorce, her father said, as if he had a hearing problem. No, annulling a marriage under false pretenses is a done deal, I replied. I will not be married to a lying, cheating, manipulative, spoiled, money-hungry bitch. And before you bullshit me, disprove one of those words, and I'll stop the action. He took a breath. That can't be true. She was either lying or cheating. That's a fact. In both cases, she was trying to manipulate me to get her way. And since she's a woman, for all I know, she's a bitch. She's a bitch because only a bitch would try to play the game she played. I just don't play. And the greed for money speaks for itself. What if I can prove I sent someone to fix these things? He pulled out a receipt. It wouldn't make any difference. Look, I'm a businessman. We had an exclusive contract that spelled out specific terms. She violated it, so I'm taking the necessary legal steps to invalidate the contract. It doesn't matter if you paid her buddy or not. She told me he wanted her or a cake. Since we both know she can't cook worth a damn, and I know for a fact she can do intimate things. I held up my hands, shrugging my shoulders. That's enough, son. Mom entered the conversation. What? I didn't pick this fight, Mom. I didn't hurt her, or hit her, or disrespect her. She did all that on her own. I'm not calling her names. I described the situation correctly. I will not stay married to her. I can never trust her again. And even if I could, I just don't want to. If she treats me like that, she can find another sucker to play games with. I have a nice house, a huge mortgage I can't get out from under, and I don't trust women. So I'm going to have the best bachelor pad in the state, where I can watch soccer to my heart's content. He's right, honey. Finally, my father spoke up. All this mess, because he tried to make her happy, and she treated him like this. We raised a good man. So treat him like a human being, not a child. He took my mother's hand. My eyes clouded over. This was exactly what I wanted. This was simple proof of long-lasting love. But like I said, you never know. Women my age just can't be trusted. I don't know where they get these rotten ideas from, but someone needs to teach them to treat a man with respect, not as a game. And yet, he goes to the extreme. She sighed. Like she didn't? What would happen if you tried that shit? Her father looked at her. First of all, I would never try. Finally, the meaning of what he said dawned on her. Exactly. Any decent woman wouldn't abuse her husband like that. He's not a laborer. He worked hard to get his degree by the house. She should have done the same and do his best because he loved her. And after that, she has the nerve to pull shit like this? He looked at her. Really? No, I get it. I just don't like it. Mom, being a mom, was a realist. I still want grandchildren. Give him time. Now he knows what he shouldn't be looking for. Maybe now he'll find what he should have been looking for all along. But first, give him time to recover from this fiasco before you start nagging him, he warned her. We're not getting any younger or healthier, son. So don't delay, he said to me. Not all women are like her, even the ones your age. So get your head out of your ass. Do it. Take a vacation from this damn job and learn to work to live. Not live to work. Damn. I love my dad so much. But, 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 but I don't want to. She tried again with puffy eyes and everything, looking for sympathy. What nonsense, Tootsie. My father was on a roll. If you didn't want this, then tell me, why the hell did you drag our son into this shit? Did he mistreat you? Hit you? Beat you up? Humiliate you? No. He worked for you? So you'd betray him with this shit? He lashed out at her father. Maybe you should have spent more time teaching your daughter respect instead of bailing her out all the time. My son is right. It's over between us. And damn it, goodbye. And so, just like in the good old days when my father listened to Paul, that's the whole story. I annulled my failed marriage, kept my house since it was in my name, bought with my money and credit, and set out to find my happy future. I know there are women who will think I acted like an asshole. As my father used to say, nasty shit, Tootsie. Why the hell haven't you learned that, in order to be treated with respect, you have to show respect first? Or, if you treat someone like shit, don't be surprised when you get splattered with your own shit when it hits the fan. May you live long and prosper.